The workshop agenda for September 8th, to order. Roll call.
Ms. Vistelli?
Here.
Mr. Palone?
Here.
Mr. Siriani?
Here.
Dr. Selly? Mrs. Billings?
Here.
I hereby certify this meeting has been published in the newspapers in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act and posted as required by law.
Thank you. Our first item on the agenda is a redevelopment project presentation. It's at 345 Ocean Boulevard. Nathan Ray and company.
Hi, I'm John Junko, the attorney for the project, and Jim Montefiore is, of course, our architect. And this project is, surprise to everyone, located at 345 Ocean Boulevard. So unless you want to hear more stories, we'll have Jim start telling you about the project, because I think it's in pretty good shape. We're not requesting any variances, and we can have one potential waiver that may come up based on the way the utilities have acted in the past.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Jim, would you just describe the location and then the project for the council?
Yes. What we're looking at is a 40-unit apartment building, and the building is terraced from Ocean Avenue back to Ocean Boulevard. It starts at, terracing starts at actually the 3rd floor and moves up to the 5th floor. The total stories of the building are 6, with parking below grade. We conform to all of the requirements of the ordinance. I think there's one area with a transformer that we're going to be asking for a waiver on.
Excuse me. There's a camera.
Oh, I didn't even. That's okay. I didn't mean to turn my back.
No, hit.
Okay. So this is basically how the project lays out. Ocean Boulevard is to the left of the paper. The ocean is to the right. Our buildings run straight down the center with a center core. There's an offset of the northern portion of the building to the southern portion of the building to allow for sunlight and air to get into the units that are on the northern side of the building. The building steps up. It starts over here. These units start, I could go to the roof plan. Actually, it'll be easier to describe in the rendering. So this is a rendering of, concept rendering of how the building would look from the sky, kind of on Ocean Boulevard. So what we're looking at doing is terracing the units from this south easterly corner, and then they stagger the stepping as they go up the building, kind of creating this kind of an Italian-esque mountainside where you see all the houses that step up the mountain there. And then what we have is this trellis piece that grows out of the ground, and it comes up the center. It's like a line up the middle of the building, and all of the terraced units have these trellises that come out, and they terrace all the way down. They cascade like a waterfall down the center of the building, all the way to the ground, and then they go up through the building and then back down the Ocean Boulevard side of the property. And on Ocean Boulevard, you can see on this elevation, the trellises come from the main entrance door. They travel up the buildings, across the back, and all the way down. On the last page of the handout I gave you, or just because it's kind of hard to understand what these trellises look like, there's a page on the back that has similar louvers and trellises of kind of the idea that we're going for, to give you a flavor of the building and how that's working. Unit sizes, they run from around 1,300 square feet to 2,400 square feet. They are 2s and 3-bedroom units. Again, there's 40 of those. We have 81 cars. 10 of them are on the entrance courtyard, and the rest are inside the building. And also, I can just do a brief on that level. So at the lower level, it's kind of interesting. The property actually goes up from Ocean Boulevard. It goes up quite a bit, like 8 feet. So when you come in at Ocean Boulevard level, the Ocean Avenue level is up higher, and it's burying the whole level of the garage. However, when you pull in at the Ocean Boulevard side, you're actually driving straight into the garage. So it's almost at grade, a little lower than grade. Our main lobby is there, and then that travels up the building. Circulation goes right around in a single direction. And then there's storage units coming off the beach with access from the beach directly to the storage units. Every unit is obviously designed to face the ocean, so that's why you see the shape that I have created here. And all the units tip out and have balconies that face the water side, and then they build up as they go up the building. So you can see in your packet, if you want to go through your packet, you can see how the building steps up. On your drawing, there's these dashed in lines. Those are showing the heights of the building at those specific areas to the setback of the property line, which is how we created the height of the building. And then the building steps up into the middle. So as you go up, you can see how they start becoming terraces with balconies. And the next level, they step back again. So it's constantly tiering up in a staggered format. And this is down at the bottom would be the roof plan, and you can see all the trellises kind of coming down the building, and then they end up on the ground. So
What's the highest floor with groups?
the highest floor,
Housing, with housing.
the 6th floor is the
Sixth
highest
floor.
level.
And there's 2 units on
There's two penthouse units at the top level. Yeah, 3-bedroom units.
Jim, what's the height of that building?
Well, the building is taking from an average grade of 24 is 66 feet from average grade of 24. Which the front of the building is around 20 and the back of the building is around 30.
Now, you talk about trellises. Trellises usually have greenery. Are they going to have greenery, or are they just going to be the wood?
They're just the wood trellises as shown in those pictures, really shading devices.
Okay.
And then the ones that are along the sides of the building are kind of facing back, and to try and focus the views towards the ocean, the trellis runs all the way down the sides of all the balconies to give them privacy from the neighboring units, and yet to focus their views out towards the ocean.
And you did say every unit will be oceanfront. They will have
Every
ocean
unit
view?
will have a view, yes.
A view.
Yes.
The-
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
The only other thing that we're working on, I'm working with Mr. Pratap, is the facade treatments. We're talking about using stone, like a cast stone or a limestone facade, and we're using architectural metals. And we're also going to be using some regular stone at the bottom, because we're trying to get the building to grow out of the ground. So the base is kind of this stone base. So you can see it here that the lower level units have all these nice terraces, and then there's a little stone piece with these trellises that divide the units up. And then there's 2 beach walks on either side, there's one on each side, so you can come out of your unit and walk down and down to the beach. Also, the front is bermed up so that from Ocean Avenue, you don't see anything but the lawn going up to the level of where people are sitting.
The roof on that, I meant to ask, and is that open to the residents, or it's just strictly a roof?
This up top
Right.
is a roof. Very top of the roof. At this
I know,
point in time, I haven't explored.
There's nothing up there
No, not at
for
this
the
time.
guests?
And Jim, you're going to propose a landscaping plan for the open space?
Yes, we have Jason here,
Jason.
who did the site, is working on the site plan. We are working on tweaking the landscaping, so I'm not sure at this time if it's appropriate to go through all the landscaping. I'm sure he can go over it with you. You can see on Ocean Avenue side, we have many plantings. It's very seashore planting style with lots of dune shapes and grasses, similar to other projects that we've proposed in the past. And then on Ocean Boulevard, we're going to try and continue the theme of the Ocean Boulevard landscaping according to how it was approved.
So that's a generalized plan, but materials that we're going to use will all be determined between you and Pratap and other consultants?
Yes.
Any plans or for a pool?
No, there are no plans for a pool. Our pool is over here.
Where is it?
Over there.
That big
I
pool.
see.
And it goes all the way to China.
I think you need to go back to geography. China, okay.
Well, he's going through a canal.
Keep going all the way.
He's going through a canal.
Go the wrong coast.
Well, I might go down.
So, but generally, the plan is in compliance, but we mentioned that there might be a requirement for a utility transformer in the area that the utility company designates.
Yeah.
And you're concerned about that being within the 50 feet because of an adjoining property that you developed, is that correct?
I'm not concerned about it. We've done it on other projects.
You're reporting that that's
Did one
likely.
On the Feliciano project that's on North Bath Avenue. We had the transformer up front in the berm, and it's hidden by landscape.
Then you'd landscape around it, establish
Can you go into that a little more detail so I understand?
There's a 50-foot setback, and in that, in addition to the landscaping, the utility company is likely, hasn't done it yet, is likely to require that it be located in a specific area for their service and requirements.
Within that piece?
And it looks like, and what Jim and Jason had mentioned earlier to me was they expected, like another project, that they would put it in that area because of Ocean Boulevard. So it would be in the area and have to be landscaped around it. But since it would be a waiver, I wanted to just bring that it hasn't been determined yet, but it's very likely.
Planning board deals with those on a regular basis, and the borough engineer will review it with the applicant's engineer at the planning board. It's nothing unusual, and it's nothing that hasn't happened in many other cases, and I'm sure the council president who serves on your planning board will be able to attest to that.
I think that's it for me. Yeah.
Any more questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, I also have Jason Fichter here as our project site engineer, but I don't know that there's any, if you have any questions, we can of course answer them, but is there anything particular you need to add to this planning process, Jason?
The only thing I really wanted to bring up tonight was the potential deviation for the utilities within the buffer from Ocean Boulevard. That's been covered. And just a general idea of the landscape plan, and that's been covered. So if there's anything else you'd like to know, I'd be happy to answer your question.
Do you see any problems with stormwater?
At this point, I don't. Not at all.
I do have one question about parking. How many spaces per unit is facility has?
2. That's what your redevelopment plan requires too, so yeah, the 2.
Okay.
Just to remind you of your process, because this is in a redevelopment zone. Once this is moving forward, the applicant and Mr. Beckelman will get together and propose a developer's agreement. This will then come back to you with a report from Pratap Talwar saying that it conceptually meets the requirements of the redevelopment plan and the design guidelines, and you'll be asked to pass a resolution at that point in time, if everything is in shape, to refer this matter to the planning board for a full planning board review at that time. And hopefully that'll be done sooner rather than later.
We want to hopefully get you with additional designation on these guys. Just to compliment, these are Mr. Reich and his team, they've gotten farther faster than any applicant we've ever seen.
Well, we also would like to keep
They've done
moving.
a phenomenal job of, getting it done and getting into it,
So with your permission, I'd like to be able to contact Mr. Beckelman and get underway with the developer's agreement. Well, thank you.
Okay.
Better to ask permission than beg forgiveness.
Not necessarily, but today it is.
I'm flattered that you would ask.
Okay, thank you very much.
You want this, right?
Our second item on our agenda tonight is a boardwalk update. Mr. Woolley?
Yeah, I sent everybody a picture last week. They did the last sheet pile of Morris Avenue. So hopefully this week, I didn't get, I wasn't in this morning. This cold has gotten the better of me, but they'll be starting decking. They've got a lot of stringers in place. I believe they're almost up to cottage.
They are.
So it's chugging along. They're very pleased with their progress. You know, we're not for the stones and the rocks we get behind the seawall faster, but it's still moving. And they're doing the handicapped access ramp down at West End. They're starting to set the piling for that, and as they go, they'll take care of business on the piling. So,
What beaches will be over weeks?
Basically Melrose, Cottage, and everybody north of Melrose. Newcourt and Tack. And we'll have guards at a couple of them up north.
Guards will be up north.
Chelsea, what, Madison, I think.
Probably going to put, this weekend we'll probably have them at Cottage too. And there'll be some patrols rolling back and forth.
And then we'll have guys on the quads going back.
That's just weekend?
Big
Is
board?
that just weekend?
No.
Weekday also.
No, weekday also. We had 5 on today. We'll probably have 12 on the weekends. Depending
Yeah,
on
weather
the
like
weather.
this,
Depending on the weather.
you know, I don't have to tell you, a day like today, that place is going to be mine. You know, A, it's spring. B, the weather's beautiful. And, you know, there's some people in our backyard. Whereas some of the people that drive down here from North Jersey don't, nobody works anywhere. They're local to the kids. You know, they're Moscow, which is great. I'm glad people are enjoying it. We just gotta make sure they stay safe. So, you know, we had a good year, Stan and Freddie and Carl and everybody did a hell of a good job. Turned out what we thought could be a rough summer turned into a phenomenal. So, pleased with all the work there. Jason's guys, Kevin's guys, everybody.
Any questions, Mr. Wall?
I just had two. Someone from one of I know there's a handicap access ramp now near one of the senior buildings, is that correct? Is it your pavilion? And that's a new one, right? We didn't have handicap
No.
access before.
There will be one at North Bath, Cottage in West End, I believe.
Where are there 6? Are there,
There were 6 access points. There was only one handicap ramp at Cottage.
oh, okay, so they're moving, so it's
So
gonna
we're
be-
doing 3 instead of 1.
And I'm sorry, the other 2 are,
North Bath and West End.
and
I
the-
believe it's North Bath. It's not the I can check on the plans in between the meetings. I'll confirm that. I'm pretty sure it's North Bath. And then we have the sand ramps north of, where do we start the sand ramps?
Melrose.
Pavilion?
Melrose.
Well, Mars was the sand ramp.
It was, but
It's going to be a straight stair entrance.
yes.
And at the sand ramps, we do we've always done pickups with the beach staff. If somebody needs a ride from the top down and we can get there, we'll do it. Put them in the car and take them down there. We've got the beach wheelchairs at several sites, which we've made available to people, which they can actually use to go in the water. And we've done all of that kind of stuff. Our staff has been, you know, Riley and those guys are extremely accommodating to people.
and then the second, I'm sorry.
That's all.
The second question was just, I know the project is ending at Morris, correct?
Slightly north of Morris.
Okay, so what is I know there's, the whole idea with phase 3 and so forth, but for the immediate future, what is the plan from Morris to Pier 1?
Our hope is to get them under construction in the spring, phase 3.
Okay,
To get that section done. I know they were meeting, the fellow from Arms was meeting with the Kushner companies this week to discuss, continuation of the boardwalk. We are meeting with them, we're going to discuss an executive session, some of the things we were talking about with them, phase 3 design, and, negotiations. And hopefully they'll get busy on their section, so that we're all ready to roll come next spring.
but if by chance that doesn't get underway in a timely fashion, what is sort of the plan?
We'll arrange for some type of transition off of the boardwalk and some continuation of pedestrian traffic through the phase 3 site.
Something similar to
yeah.
what's there now?
Yeah. Freddie and Stanley and Kevin came up with that paved walkway concept, and Clyde executed it. And I think people were generally happy with it, you know, as an interim type approach. You know, we learned the hard way when we were doing phases 1 and 2, that you gotta keep that pedestrian walkway open, you know, in some fashion.
But I guess the question is.
We'll do it, we'll keep something.
So, but will even on a temporary basis, it look like it's somewhat continuous or not a construction
I
site?
can't tell you, I don't know.
You know what I mean? I
I mean,
understand it's not
yeah, I
a
think
boardwalk.
I mean, phase 3 of Pier Village is gonna look like a construction site when it's a construction site, we can't.
You know, I'm just assuming, let's say that doesn't happen by.
We'll try and paint the dirt road as best we can, but it's not gonna be a dirt road. No, we'll make, I mean, we're gonna try and make it work as best as possible.
Any more questions on that? Okay, last thing is review the regular meeting agenda. Anyone have any questions? Michael?
The, all the blacktop that's being done,
I'm sorry.
the blacktop, the Fury, what areas is that for?
That's under discussion right now. I mean, basically what was approved was half of the road.
I'm sorry?
Half of the road.
That was for the ocean front?
Yes.
That's what I thought,
But
okay. Well, you don't know if it's, what's
we're
gonna
gonna
be.
have to assess it after they get through to see how much of it's been damaged. And if portions of it have been damaged in construction, we're hoping the FEMA will approve, you know,
The other half.
the other, well, larger portions.
Got it.
The other Fury contract is the Columbia Avenue one, which you approved. Once we get that back and signed, we'll have a construction meeting. I know that's not what subject, but, you know, we'll update you as to the progress on that. And then you should have 2 more coming in. Next meeting, we should have Sears Avenue and Brighton Avenue Streetscape. Pardon me.
John?
Just getting back to phase 3, let's suppose that they do the construction. Are they under any obligation to do that portion first, or are we going to try to?
They have told me they wanted to do that first.
Okay.
You know, we will naturally try and get, you know, their infrastructure improvements done first. You know, so it's separate enough from the hotel that I think they can do it. Right, with that.
Yes.
Board.
Anything else, John? Joy?
Thank you.
Mary Jane?
Yeah, I do, on 219. The bus shuttle contract that we're going to sign.
That was a routine.
I've asked for a report on the shuttle, and I really haven't gotten it, and I'd like to know,
I
are we
forwarded-
making money?
No.
I forwarded the shuttle report to you.
Pardon me?
I forwarded the shuttle report to you from Jake. I
Yeah,
reported
but
to
that's
everybody.
just recently. I haven't seen one before that.
Jake was here. Jake,
Yes.
could you respond, please? The question is, are we making any money on the shuttle?
No, we're not.
No.
Pardon me?
No.
We're not
We're not making
making,
any
most of
Why are we
the,
signing another contract for 2016? Or is that what's in the original contract?
what's on the agenda is not a contract.
I can't hear you, Jake, I'm sorry.
No, what's on the agenda tonight, Dr. Sully, is not a contract. It's for the project itself. The contract, we hope, will be at the next meeting. But we are not making any money because the ridership is not supported or making any money. Most of the riders are coming from Monmouth University,
Right.
and most of those students ride free with a student identification card. The college is supposed to reimburse the city $3,000 or something once it's been approved. They had some change in their administration recently, and so we were delayed with getting that funding. But even with that funding, that won't make us any money. It is simply reimbursed to see what the city has put out. But until we get that ridership to full capacity, we won't make any money on that program. We have 1 more year of the subsidy with the federal government. What's on tonight is the project to support that 1 year for 2015, 2016.
Is the shuttle go over to the corporate, over to the Monmouth corporate office where they have their master's degree program?
No, does not. The schedule is being proposed. You'll see a copy of the schedule for 2015-2016 tonight. So if you have any questions about that route, it should be brought up before it's finalized. But the agreement will be in 2 weeks. So if you have any, suggestions about the route, it should be brought up before that agreement is made. The agreement is not inflexible. We can still alter the route if there is just cause. But if the ridership isn't there, then there's no reason to really alter the route. We've set the route according to where we get the greatest ridership so far, and that's how that route is scheduled.
Well, they seem to be having moved a good percentage of their graduate students over to that corporate office, and I just wondered if it would be worth
It might.
taking a run.
We can take a look at it.
Huh?
We'll talk to the college
Okay.
or the university.
Are you thinking of any ideas how to promote this?
Yes, we have several meetings planned. At our last UEZ meeting, we discussed coming up with the committee to discuss the ridership. The students are maintaining most of the numbers, but we're just going to have to keep working at it.
I know I spoke with Kate over the weekend, letting people know other areas to park and use the shuttle to get to the beach during the summertime. Is it still not acceptable for advertisement on these shuttles?
The response that I offered was so bad that I sort of discontinued it. I got none of the businesses, save for one, to sponsor the advertisement.
How far back was that? I know
Last year.
Last year.
I offered it to the chamber, all of those businesses, and then we sent out we put ads in the paper, and there were no responses.
Basically, we're going to put our heads together and see if we can come up with something to support it, because the federal grant runs out this year.
Yeah, I know.
And we've got a couple new people involved here that pick their brain as well as the UEZ people. So, we're hoping that we can keep it going, because we really like the concept.
It's a nice concept.
And the good news, like with that development project you heard there this morning or tonight, excuse me. Gold Medicine's got my watch with it. We're getting development in that block, the beach road south, but there's a lot of parking there. But we'll lose that parking, we're going to make up for it someplace else. So, as you said, we'd like to encourage people to park, say at the train station, take the shuttle. But, we've got to come up with ways to do that. So we're looking into that. And hopefully we'll have some answers. Sure.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jay.
Bye, Jay.
Okay, I need a motion to close the workshop portion of this meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
I need a motion to adopt a resolution to go in executive session for the following items: contract negotiations, DRA, Ergo. We are not going to discuss the property purchase on South Broadway. That has been taken off. In place, we'll talk about the rate development, and we'll also talk about Pier Village update. I need a motion.
So moved.
Roll call.
Mrs. Bastelli? Mr. Plum?